Yo, Enda here. Here I am, cozy on a wintry, wet, stormy Galway night here in February. It's great. I'm living here near Salted. If you've ever been to Galway, 5 minutes from the ocean, beautiful. So it's great when you're working away on a computer all day and just jump on a bike, jump in the ocean, have a good swim. So I've been in half an hour ago for a swim. I got my wetsuit and all my stuff hanging up and drying. Anyway, so what I'm going to show you today is how to use what I use for creating flybys, animated flybys, say for output to video. I use MP4, Full HD, mobile, or also for cutscenes in gaming. Cinemachine. I've also used Cinemachine before with virtual cameras on a timeline. What I'm going to show you today is to use Cinemachine camera with Dolly track. So let's open up Unity. This is a scene that you have seen before. Just our simple asset and the sunlight. That's it. I've set up a previous sample of Cinemachine, so I'll just show you what it's all about. In here I've got an empty game object that I call Cinemachine Dolly. Okay, but first, for Cinemachine to work, you gotta go into Window, you gotta go into the package manager and download Cinemachine. Then it will populate here on the toolbar. When you go in here, you gotta create DollyCamera with track, but I'll show you how to do that after this demonstration. Empty game object, Dolly, and then I add a point of interest, which is going to be used for a look at target, camera, your Dolly cam, and that's your camera that's on the track, and that's the track that the camera follows. You can see here in green. It orbits the point of interest, which is the residential house. Okay, so if I go into game mode, if you choose the Dolly cam, and if you go here, you can look at POV. This POV is an empty game object. That's all it is. And I can move that around, but if I move that around, the camera follows. So I've put in an empty game object, call it POV2, set it central to the house. Okay, so when the camera orbits the house, it'll follow that point, that look at point each time. So click on DollyCam. Important thing to look at here is, okay, look at up here, look at POV, and go into body, and here, this is the most important, pat position. So pat position at the moment is at 0. If I click on the track, you got waypoints. This is 0 waypoint, and the camera animation finishes at waypoint 11. You can move that waypoint. So starting at waypoint 0, and you can see here it's populated. This is the Dolly track. This is the inspector window, and you got waypoints from 0 to 11. So if we have a look at the camera, all we got to do is just dial through here from 0, of course, until 11. From 0 to 11. That's your camera. Go back into game mode and see what that looks like. So we start off here. The yellow dot here, the target, that's the point. That's the positioning of the empty game object, the look at target. So your animation will start here. It'll pan around and finish. And all you've got to do then is to set up a time limit animation for the DollyCam game object, and then just keyframe. Okay, from 0 to 11. So setting that back at 0. Okay, so that's the sample of a very quick shot that I had set up. So if we want to go back into scene mode, if we want to set up one from scratch, what you've got to do is very quickly create a camera. I kind of like to position the camera where I want it to start the animation from, say somewhere behind We can adjust this afterwards very easily, but say somewhere here like that. You can see the preview window at the bottom, on the bottom right. So choose your camera and click on Cinemachine, choose create Dolly camera with track. Now you've got a director icon here, and you've got a Cinemachine brain script. That's really important. Populate it on the camera, attributes. You got your VR virtual camera. I like to name this straight away as Dolly capital C-A-M. That's how I name mine. Not Dooley, DollyCam. Dooley, a man named Dooley. Dolly. Okay, that's funny. DollyCam. So we got DollyCam and we got Dolly track. So if we have a look at DollyCam, and where's our camera now? Okay, and we're going to the track. So we got to choose waypoint 0. Okay, that's waypoint 0. And over here, if you click here, you'll choose the next waypoint, and that's waypoint. So say we're going to go from, so we're going to start here, just like so. We'll go around by the swing, maybe like so. Okay, click on the plus, add another waypoint, and automatically it curves. These are similar to Bezier curves. These waypoints, these waypoint transitions. So you know, you kind of play around here in edit mode. Add another waypoint, like so. Add another waypoint. And we gotta clear that tree, something like so. Take it up over the fence. Of course, you can create a roller coaster effect. Waypoint 4, waypoint 4, okay, waypoint 4, nice. So you can see just how that's created. So then if we go into choose your dolly cam, go into game mode and move between those positions, but you see something's wrong. The camera is just not looking at any target. So what we got to do is, that is easily fixed. Go back into scene mode and create a empty game object, call it POV, or call it just say target, and see where that is. There is just an empty game object. Set it central to your target point of interest, say somewhere in the house like so. Choose your dolly cam and look at, see this, just click with the right of the mouse and drag it in, bang. So now our camera will follow. So if we go back into game mode, and now our camera is locked on to that aim point. Also in here, another thing you can adjust down here, the soft zone. Okay, that's just the how much of the shot you want in frame to keep focused. So basically that's how you set up your cameras. Now what you got to do is, that was just an example, we'll take that out, go back in, we'll turn on the one we've done. Now if you want to animate this, you got to go in to Windows, let me see, timeline, Windows sequencing timeline, drag this below, okay, and then click on the dolly cam, and you're going to create a timeline for that. So add animation track, record, and what you got to do then is setting this to 0. Okay, set your frames to seconds. Say we want to choose 10 seconds, and now you can just dial in 11 is the finishing waypoint. So now what we've got is we have our timeline animation, and it will tween nice and smoothly with your target between all of those keyframes down to 11. And then again, we can click this. You can also move as well. You can move that from 0 to 10 or 0 to 15 seconds. And just press play just to check that out. Voila. And that is a little bit fast, but that's our waypoint animation from 0 to 11. It's got with motion blur and depth of field. Yeah, so that's a good use of Cinemachine for cutscenes and to render out to video. It's nothing got to do with VR, but yeah, that's okay. That's cool. Thanks for watching. And okay, I've shown a video before with the third-person character in the scene, and what's the next thing I wanted to look at on this scene? I'm trying to think. Oh, setting up teleportation. So setting up your Steam VR plugin, setting up your teleportation, and then setting up UI elements within the scene where you will be able to teleport with your headset around a scene and interact with say some objects in the house, like say some of the furniture in there are some interactive menus where you can change the texture of the flooring from carpet to wood to concrete, and turn on and off lights, and be able to lift up and move around furniture and stuff. So that'll be a fun tutorial. Okay, so there's 12 minutes of my time and your time on this planet. Yeah, well spent. It's good for me to learn this stuff over many months or years. It's good to share it. Some of you have done this before, surpassed what I've done here. Some of you are beginners, so hopefully it'll help someone. Okay, it's fun. Okay, that's architectural visualization. And thank you. Be safe. Take care.